Hi, my name is William Chung. I'm 36. I'm the chef owner of Big Fish. I'm Chinese Vietnamese and born and raised in New Zealand.
Born and raised in the back of a kitchen on Auckland's infamous K Road in one of the city's first ever Chinese restaurants. For William Chung, the restaurant business is in his blood.
Basically, the story is from my mother that she was working right up until I was actually born. So I think her water broke actually in the restaurant. So I was almost literally born in the restaurant. But we opened a restaurant. Both my parents are working there, and I was just sitting in the back there as a little kid, running around watching them make all the dim sums and cut all the meat, and just that was my playground really growing up.
Two busy parents, 4 kids, and staff who were always happy to help babysit.
We had waitresses, on when they had their break. They play with me, take me up to Decker, buy some Transformers, So we pretty much hung out under the counter, had our naps there,
Those are distant memories now, but ones that he's built his career and business on. After graduating from culinary school and travelling the world working as a chef, William returned home and started his own restaurant in a peculiar spot in Penrose.
It was a ghost town there, literally on Saturday, the car park was like a old Western movie. It was like tumbleweeds, pretty much spider webs everywhere in the middle of nowhere. And we got a good deal there. 6 months free rent. Went in there and just cleaned it up, painted the place ourselves. Got a loan from my dad, and which pretty much brought 3 pieces of equipment, and that's it. And pretty much went from that.
5 years on, William's restaurant, Big Fish Eatery, is now the busiest spot on the street. Before the lockdown, they were serving a packed house almost every night, and due to high demand, he opened another branch in Stonefields last year. With more than 7,000 followers on Facebook and a 4.5 Google rating from over 700 customers, it was a dream come true. And then Covid-19 hit. And on the 23rd of March, New Zealand escalated to Alert Level 3 and was just over 48 hours away from a nationwide lockdown. The news came on a Monday, just after William had loaded up stock after another busy weekend. But by midnight on Wednesday, like many other businesses, he closed his doors, not knowing when he'd open again.
I think the hardest thing for a chef is when you see, garnish, like micro herbs, like beautifully, these flowers that aren't edible, but they make the food look so pretty. When you see those and they're expensive and they have to go off. Because there's nothing, you can't eat them, I try to give away as much veg as I could to the staff, to my parents before we could lock down. And, I think I was eating, curled cucumber for like a whole week for breakfast and lunch,
During lockdown, the bills didn't stop. They were still paying rent for machines no longer in use, and of course the lease of both properties. The wage subsidy scheme helped keep staff on the books, but as the days disappeared, so did the capital.
We came back with massive bills, and also all the stock that we had in our freezers, all the veggies that we wasted. So came back with massive bills and just no customers. When I looked at the bank account, it freaked me out. So I tried not to look as much because there's nothing you can really do.
It's a relief to be back in business at Level 3, but it's now a balancing act. There are jobs to juggle and new safety standards changing the way everyone operates. William split his team of 24 staff across 2 restaurants into 5 bubbles. They're all wearing masks and they've got a hand washing schedule where every 30 minutes everyone has to stop and wash their hands. On top of the pandemic, William's family is going through their own health crisis and he can't take any risks.
My son got diagnosed with leukemia in February, so it was just quite recent. And we've just been going through treatment. He's been on chemo and his immune system is really, really low right now. So basically, we have to make sure that I'm safe, so I'm not bringing anything home, and that everybody here is safe, and that we keep our work bubble.
In 8 weeks, the government wage subsidy scheme will run out, and there have been no announcements on any financial support beyond that. William says he's trying to keep all of his staff in jobs, but it's tough.
Everyone's jobs are on the line, and we're just trying our best to keep it going and keep everyone happy. We may not be able to open both restaurants if we go back to level 2, just because people are probably still scared to come out, you know. And it's not just us. A lot of big, strong, popular restaurants, everyone's just closing left, right and centre right now. So it's a very hard time for hospitality.
Everyone's trying to adapt. Front of house staff are out on the streets delivering food, and some are in the kitchen prepping food for the first time.
We just have to find new roles for them, and you know, it's quite difficult when someone specialises in one area and we just try to hold jobs and keep it for the future. We're really sad to lose some of the staff that, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do next, because a lot of people are here on hospitality visas and they've been with us, they know our business so well, but if we can't afford to have them, I don't know what they're going to be doing.
William describes his staff as his family, something he learnt from a young age in the back of his parents' Chinese restaurant. He says the last few weeks have been filled with anxiety, but he's trying to stay hopeful about the future.
It's quite tough because I think, you know, the core team that I have, you know, we built this place together, and I've got guys that have been with me for 5 years, you know, and we've been through thick and thin together. You know, there's been times in Penrose, you know, it's been pretty hard. Like, we've done full service nights when the power's cut, and we've had full restaurants, and we've had to do sushi by candlelight, you know. We've had times where, you know, the place flooded because it wasn't designed. You know, now we've built like an outdoor area, but there didn't used to be one out there, and we've had ankle deep water, and we still had a full house and customers still came. So we've had a lot of challenges through the time that we've been there, and this is another one of them. I think it's super important that, I mean, everything we've done in the last couple of years still means something, and it's just not all done for nothing.